ahead and get started, if that's okay for all of you. I think it's right around 10:30. Come on in, grab a seat. So we'll go ahead and get started for a couple updates for our Tuesday talk, February 20th. I know we have a couple resident announcements, so we will start there with Miss Carolyn.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm here to ask you to save a date, and the date is March 20th, 2024. And that will be the annual meeting of FLICRA. The FLICRA chapter will be on March 20th here in Town Hall at 11 o'clock. There'll be more about this coming out later. The menu of the meeting is going to be, they're going to have an explanation of a change in the bylaws. Our bylaws have been changed and they need to be okayed by the FLICRA members. So you'll get the explanation of that. And we'll also be informing you of our 2023 achievements plus our 2024 goals. You'll know those at the meeting. They'll tell you all about it. We have an election coming up. There are some vacancies on the board, and if you are interested in this, in both mail rooms in the north and south, you'll see a flyer like this. It has all the names of the board members, and so if you're interested, I encourage you to contact one of these board members, and if you would like to run for a board position. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Carolyn. Yes, sir. Do you have an announcement? Absolutely.
Most everybody knows that it's important to keep the medication list updated with you at all times. And for those that don't understand how important it is, there are medication lists at the front desk, but it's not updated. And a lot of things happen as we mature. So you're on a different medication, please be to your advantage to keep a medication list updated with you at all times. My wife had a stroke. Thank God we were home at the time. But if it happened in a restaurant or shopping, we wouldn't be so fortunate to have her recover as she did. So please carry an updated medication list with you at all times. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Any additional announcements from residents? Well, this has been a long time coming for our past president. I had meant to get this to him couple Tuesday talks ago, so it's a little overdue, but we just wanted to present you, Chris Swanson, with just a little, really a little award for all of your years of service. Come on up if you can. This is from Regency Oaks, from us to you, for 5.5 years. You were very exact when I asked him. 5.5 years of service. And so we just wanted to let you know how much we appreciate you and having you serve on the board. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Picture time.
We'll take it out there. Thank you again, Chris. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Please do silence your cell phones so everyone present and watching from home can hear all of the updates or questions. So congratulations to Miss Judy. You actually won some free service hours from IHS, so thank you for participating as always. If you do want any help from our team, extension 502 or 503, they have gotten a lot of the issues they were having with the software system resolved, so we're back fully functioning for the most part. Thank you again for all of your patience and understanding. And just congratulations again, Miss Judy.
Thank you.
Have them come clean your house or under your bed. Just a little bit of updates from Evan. The following areas have been detailed. First floor south building, the furniture and floors. First floor windows and doors. Our exterior exits for the North Wing, P Wing, and A Wing. And exterior exits from R Wing, M Wing, and S Wing. Carpet cleaning is scheduled for Wednesday the 21st in the south second floor and Thursday 22nd north second floor. They're going to start around 7 p.m. and will go to about 11. We usually do it after hours for the obvious reasons, less traffic. So again, we just wanted to remind you to please welcome Miss Alexis. She'll be continuing to train with Cindy. COVID updates, we do not have any in the IL North or South, but we do have a little bit of another outbreak in healthcare. Anytime there's 1 to 2 cases, that is considered an outbreak. So I know that sounds a little bit scarier than it is, but we do have about 4 active cases in healthcare. They're contained, a lot of times discharged from the hospital post-COVID, but we do have about 4 healthcare staff that are recovering as well. So we like to just kind of continue those updates. Cold weather doesn't help. It's another 50-degree morning, so just continue to be vigilant on those precautions. Resident Services, Kelly said we will be holding the semi-annual transition of care presentation next Tuesday, immediately after Tuesday Talk. They will include aging in place, remaining in your apartment, services available for in-home care, transitioning to AL or skilled nursing, advanced directives, and planning. She just wanted to remind you, please be sure to make your wishes known to your family, emergency contacts, and residents, and all of that documentation that you have with us. That way we can help all of that follow through. Activity updates from Ginger, Wednesday the 21st, personal training with Zelco. He's doing an informational session. We are wanting to continue working with Zelco on his services. He does such a great job and he's so passionate about what he does. So we will be focused on creating a program around our fantastic fitness center and Zelco. Not a lot of our communities have a Zelco, so we're pretty fortunate for that, and we want to make sure to expand upon that. The 21st, In the Know with RO, will be at 2:30 in the Town Hall admin offices. Thursday, 22nd, Pilgrimage Healing with Ann. I love that one. 11:30 in the Activity Room South. And then Friday is the Tampa Bay History Lecture at 2 p.m. here in the Town Hall. Just another reminder every Tuesday to I remind you to check your trip tables and sign-ups. So a little bit of updates from Darwin and team. They are a couple, I don't ever like to say short-staffed, so I will not say that, but we have a couple associates that are not in this week for various reasons, so he is making sure that we can get everything that's needed to be done. Please do communicate if you have any issues or need any additional help, but we have restructured just to kind of help support independent and healthcare as well. But nonetheless, as far as last week, he had 158 work orders completed and 65 open. We are doing touch-up paint in service areas and 2 floors. We had some boiler repairs done to replace the heating element in our north building. We've replaced additional HVACs in some residents' homes. We've replaced some shower valves in 2 apartments. They've completed 5 unit turnovers for new move-ins because we have so many. We did meet with Senior Safety for our pendant project. I'll go into a little bit about that on my updates. Darwin spent a lot of last week meeting with multiple vendors on just various issues within the community, not necessarily problems, just preventative items that are part of his role. And he is also focusing with his team on completing the med room and the utility room in the healthcare center. So I just think it's really important to communicate what all of our directors are working on. Just because you don't see him or see the work order or Ricky in the dining room, whatever that case may be, that they are still very busy and working hard for you. So another reminder about the 2024 ad valorem forms. Complete those and turn those into the front desk, please. The Regency Oaks letter was provided, the annual tax letters to all residents that went out last week, and those are the letters that you would give to your tax preparer for 2023 taxes. Let us know if for whatever reason you didn't get that. Come see the front desk and we can get you that. Little bit of food and beverage updates. Another reminder that Gourmet will be on February 28th. Bella Row is Friday the 23rd. Beer Club is today, February 20th. And Pasta Night will be February Tuesday the 27th at 6 p.m. We did have a health inspection last week. We passed and did well. You'll be happy to know. They never tell us when they come in. They just show up and go through our kitchens. And we are, of course, still recruiting for an executive chef. You probably know Johnny Hubbs is now our assistant dining director. So we are interviewing for a sous chef and an executive chef. So Ricky is part of that process. I'm part of that process. Our corporate food and beverage, as well as our railroad board, once we have a final candidate. Little bit of updates from Aaron. Of course, still working on February sales budgets. They do have a Financing Your Life on the 22nd. To date, our roadshow event has produced a deposit. So that roadshow we had just about a week or so ago did translate into a new resident. So that's always fantastic. That's always the point. And we thank you for everyone who helped contribute to that. And we will be hosting a new move-in event for all of our move-ins from last year in the beginning of this year, just to kind of do a kind of a really nice formal welcome from myself and from sales. So just a little bit from Dawn from HR. Last week, of course, was Valentine's, but we also did a kindness week, so lots of emphasis on taking good care of our associates, lots of candy, lots of cards, lots of little thank you notes, as well as relaxation, treats, and flowers. So Dawn was really, really fantastic in getting a lot of that. I came in my office and had a nice little pad and pen on that, and it was just really sweet. So we appreciate her dedication to making our team members feel important and appreciated. And we actually are holding a payroll lunch and learn for our directors actually today around noon. So just lots of changes with our corporate software. So we're just continuing to educate on those processes internally, of course. And just a little bit of updates from me, not a whole lot from last week to this week, but just a reminder, we are still managing the process for all of the doors. Justin and Security has been helping us with that in the evenings. Still going on and making good progress with those. Our UKG, that food and beverage flex program that we're rolling out, was actually moved. We're going to be doing it at the end of February now. Last week was just incredibly busy for Ricky and the team with lots of events. I think we all benefited and had a great time in all of the various events. So that week-long training is actually going to be at the end of February. So you'll see some of those visitors on site for that. Again, we are still working on some signage for the community. Darwin has those ordered, and we're just working with the company. We are still kind of triaging the various warranty items. There are a few items that we've addressed from this area, from the town hall. So we're working with the various vendors and our LCF development to kind of help complete that list. So, and that again was for the warranty walk. I know I've mentioned it a couple times now, but Encore is the carpet company that completed the carpet for the North Reno. To address some of the areas of concern and the way that they look, they are working on border options in some of those areas, not every single area, just the areas that would kind of break that really harsh transition. So lots of calls from the designers, from ownership about what the best next steps are. So the next step is they're going to be sending some options out, and I of course spoke with our design committee. Those should be here in about 5 to 10 days. We can take a look at those and see how to proceed. So as I mentioned, we are working with a couple, we're meeting now with a couple vendors. We did get approved for a CapEx project for 2024, was in the approved projects for a new pendant system, and that would be for independent living, assisted living, and skilled nursing, which in their setting is the call light system. So we met with Senior Safety last week, and we will be meeting with another one coming up, obviously to get various services and various pricing, et cetera. So as we probably know, our system is a little antiquated now, as we have gracefully aged in our time. Lots of them have been on back order, they're really hard to get, and they're expensive. So from the meeting last week, the pendants were actually half the price, so that was good. So we just have to continue the conversations about what that looks like, what services, what that structure and setup, and of course, cost would be. So we're just at the beginning of that process. I've been speaking to, I met with Miss Margaret and kind of discussed next steps for that. But that is something we must do. Needs to happen, so we are continuing that process with those. Once we of course meet with the actual vendor, we will then decide and communicate accordingly what the next steps are for that rollout. It would obviously be quite an undertaking. If we do get the option, again, based on cost and accessibility, to where it allows the pendants to be located at the exact zone, part of that would be they would have to go into each and every apartment and map out each and every floor plan, bedroom, kitchen, bathroom. So, again, we haven't determined that's the exact direction yet, but if we do, that would be part of it. So, anyhow, still in the early stages, but we'll continue to communicate as we go through that. Again, I know I mentioned we are continuing our routine touch-up paint, and I did get my fingerprints, so I think I'm good. I'm not in jail, so I think we're good to go. And our next step would just be more calls to determine when exactly we would be getting the liquor license. I know you're anxiously awaiting that so you can pay for alcohol. I know it's on top of your list, I'm sure. But we're still working through that process. Again, it's actually one of our attorneys who's managing it because it's quite complicated. But we have a call set up once my background and everything, fingerprints are completed by the Clear Lake Police Station and sent into them. So again, just next step, more calls, and we'll continue to communicate when we do get closer to a date. But if I was to guess, just from what I know of the other communities, within the next couple of months, that's the timeline. So don't hold me to it, but that's around the experience from some of our other communities at this point. Okay. As I mentioned, we are still on our journey with all of our visitors. We have additional visitors today for a marketing firm meeting right around noon. So they will be here. They're hosting. We, of course, are the hosting campus for NDM, which is our new marketing firm, and some of our regional sales specialists for that meeting. We are working on scheduling the window washing, as I mentioned. We are shooting for around the end of April after all of the allergy and pollen season. Biggest focus over the last couple of weeks have been completing these evaluations. It is quite time consuming. I had to do all the evaluations for my directors and then meet with each one of them, and then my directors had to do all the evaluations for their direct supports and then meet with them. As I mentioned, we have about 300 associates, so that's 300 evaluations and 300 meetings. So lots of focus on that. Our deadline is around March because that's when we start processing the annual wage increases. So again, it's a very important process that we are continuing to focus on. I did get information back for those in the North community, North Lobby, that our furniture should be here, our actual, not the staging furniture, our actual furniture would be here at the end of March. So that's the date that they've given me thus far, March 26th. If anything changes, I will let you know, but that's when we should be getting the final furniture for the North renovation. And then the only other change that I am clear about with the carpet is that area back there over by Brick and Vine and by the exit of food and beverage where they have all of the carts and the food. We are going to be pulling that up and making that LVP. Once we were looking at the various areas on all of these calls, they did determine that that was probably a good direction to move sooner than later. So that will be at some point pulled up and transitioned to the luxury however you want to say it, luxury vinyl planking, luxury vinyl tile. It's got all different names, but this stuff. It will not be carpet, which just makes more sense from such a high traffic area. So that's about all. Feel a little long-winded with some of that going on from one week to another. So at this point, if you'd like, I can take any questions or comments before we roll into my visitors.
With the new alarm system, pendant system you have, would that include fall prevention and also GPS off campus? If it does not, can we pay extra to get those features put in?
So it's still too early in the conversations to really determine that, but once I know, I'll let you know. Any other questions?
Lindsay, first of all, thank you for holding Tuesday talks.
Sure.
And opening it up for questions. I know that the blue team is winding up their work here at Regency Oaks, but many of the halls are missing pictures, and I'm talking particularly of where I live, North Building, the R Wing, 3rd floor. The walls are looking awfully bare. Are there any plans to replace those pictures?
So, Ms. Bobby would like to add to that.
I have a few that came from the north, grand lobby and entryway that I've been looking at. They're not ideal, but we were missing about 25 pictures after the fire thing. We have no idea what happened to them, particularly from the 4th and 3rd floors. So we've done the best we could with what we had to work with to put pictures back everywhere. But I agree with you, the 3rd floor R wing is very sparse. So as soon as one of the maintenance men has time to work with me, I have those all stacked in one place to go through and see if we can't use some of those on the 3rd floor.
Does that answer that for you? So that's exactly correct. Unfortunately, even prior to my time, at some point, lots of items were misplaced, and a lot of them just simply don't match anymore, right? It's a completely different aesthetic. So there are photos that Miss Bobby design team have been working with. We will get those deployed, and then we'll have to build upon that. Thank you again, Miss Bobby design team. I know this has been fun.
This is not a question, it's an observation, and it follows Judy Studebaker's comment from last Tuesday. A fellow and I were working in the common area, and we had to have something maintained. So I took out my phone, did the application, and said, well, okay, it'll probably be taken care of tomorrow or the next day. Well, 15 minutes later, maintenance showed up. Did what we needed to do, and they were gone. So between the filing and the completion, it's just about 1 hour.
My job is done here. I'm retired.
Yeah, my buddy and I looked at each other and said, what happened?
That's amazing. Thank you. I will most certainly share that with maintenance. I can take no credit. We've been working very closely with them. They've really built a really great team, holding them accountable and hiring really, really strong associates. So that's definitely part of some of the most recent progress. So thank you for acknowledging that.
Also, I wanted to compliment whoever came up with the idea for the QR codes. on the back of the expressions, great idea.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you're sitting there to use your phone, and if you don't know how to use it on your phone, next time the kids come from high school,
Yeah.
ask how to do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or any of the kids serving.
And I mean, you got a problem, and I posted a couple of them, and not only the food or the service, but if you see a tile stained or missing, you can put that in, and it does work, because in the next day or two, it's fixed. It's amazing.
Thank you, thank you. We are trying to use technology, obviously, to work smarter, right?
How many of you, did you ever reach your 300 goal?
I have to look at that. I have to ask Ricky again. I'll have to ask him that to find out the exact number.
Just to add a little bit to what he just said, yesterday I put in a work order through the portal to environmental services. And as of 9:45 this morning, it was about 2 chairs in the sports lounge that had soiled seats. I put the work order in about 4:30 yesterday afternoon. At 9:45 this morning, the chairs had been picked up and are in the process of being cleaned.
That's fantastic.
Fast.
Love it, love it. Thank you, thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to thank you for arranging for the gentleman to come and talk to us about mold. I think it was really helpful.
I'm glad you found it helpful. Thank you for attending. Any other questions, any other feedback? Okay, well, have a happy Tuesday and stay warm.